Hey everyone! Welcome to the third annual Game Devs of Color Expo. Thank you all for coming out. The Game Devs of Color Expo went from an idea as a small roundtable in NYU Game Center's Magnet Center to a hall in Microsoft's Times Square building and was reborn here at the Schomburg Center last year, and that was amazing. The event's purpose has shifted a bit too, as we've worked to expand the discussion past, capital D diversity into something more like, let's just talk about really great art and culture, because we all know, everyone here knows that the games industry that's diverse is better for everybody. Video games have been a speeding train of a cultural art form with basically less than 50 years under its belt, and numerous transformations in that time. We've gone from black and white blocks, playing tennis, to platformers, to first-person shooters. And like a speeding train, we often miss a few stops along the way, like having black and brown creators have a seat at the table. And unlike other mediums that have had movements like the Harlem Renaissance, that involve other cultures and identities, games have stayed dominated by a very specific status quo for a very long time. This includes tabletop games as well. And this is interesting because games have been moving forward so quickly, before anyone could really ask, is this what we want? We were on to the next thing. And we can't change the past. The industry has been very slow to make space for new creators, with conversations around the topic often stalling out. And we can't even really talk about unions either. But beyond that, all we can really do is make awesome projects, push the boundaries of games as a medium, and just be here. Because that's important. We have to just be here, taking up space, being here, giving our opinions, talking about games that matter to us in all the very facets that we are doing here. What we're here for is to learn from each other, to play some awesome games, and create a new normal in the industry. A space where we can go, a space where we are not on the fringes or in the margins, vying for space, but rather upfront and empowered. A lot has happened in the last year since the Game Devs of Color Expo 2017. The political climate has been rapidly burning around us, but through it all, we choose to make games, to play games, to host events about games, and to create communities related to games. And working on your passion in a world turned upside down is a powerful piece of resistance. So since last year, we had Ghost of Miami by Pillow Fight, which was released. We had Art Club Challenge by co-organizer Jared Huntley was released, and it's on the App Store. You can go buy it. We have Nor, which went on to find Kickstarter success in October of last year. And we have the expansion of the Ultimate Clapback, which is also here playable, and Nor is as well, that also saw Kickstarter success earlier this year. And this is not really to focus on capitalist success as like a benchmark, but games are hard, it takes a long time to make them, and it's just really exciting to see these products in the world. So now, over the last year, the team has shifted quite a bit, and last year we had Sheep's Meow, Brian Chung and GJ repping their game Exposure, and this year they came on to co-organize the event. And we're all professionals that have our day jobs and our other day jobs and our relationships and going through a lot of things. And without their help, this event would not have happened. Without anyone's help, this wouldn't have happened, but they kind of came in and really put the team on their back. So for that, we are infinitely grateful. So I want to invite up Brian and GJ.
Hi, everyone. I'm GJ from the Sheep's Meow, and I'd like to share why we joined as organizers this year. We exhibited the first 2 years of GDoCExpo. As devs, we exhibit at a lot of events, but GDoC stands out as one of the best. It has a positive and more supportive player base, devs who lift up other devs, and a strong community built around it. We also organize events. We started because we felt something was missing in our industry. Simply put, it's hard to find a community you feel you belong to. Many of us here have witnessed the faults of diversity without inclusiveness, whether it's being the only person of color on a panel, the only woman who's speaking at a conference that's mostly men, or maybe both and being called on to speak on behalf of your gender and race. But not here. Here, 60% of our speakers are women of color. Our conference schedule is 100% speakers of color who will share their experiences and stories. 100% of our exhibiting studios are led by creators of color who want to see each other succeed. You don't see this anywhere ever. GDoC is a truly unique event, and we're so happy to welcome you.
Hey everyone, I'm Brian Chung, also from the Sheep's Meow. Thank you, Sean, and thank you, GJ, for sharing why we do this. I want to talk a little bit more about how we do this. And diversity is just the beginning. Everybody knows it's a basic step that we all already know that we need. So we want to elevate discussion to the next step and to talk about inclusiveness and how this event is very special in the world of game dev, even though it shouldn't be. So here's some notes on that. Lots of events out there have cheaper ticket options, but they tend to exclude you from things, either talks, expo floors, networking opportunities, after parties, or even entering certain buildings. But at GDoCExpo, the full price, low income, and subsidized tickets are all equivalent. Everybody gets access to everything, and there's no visible differentiation between them. About accessibility, we don't charge game devs a submission fee to apply. We don't charge them to exhibit. For game devs who don't have or can't afford to bring equipment, we rent laptops for them. We have staff on hand whose purpose is to relieve game devs so that they can actually take breaks and not sacrifice themselves, not sacrifice food, water, or their health just to work all day. We have water to provide them with throughout the day. And speaking of sustenance, for everybody here, all attendees, and I hope anybody with dietary restrictions will appreciate this, but the snacks that we have for you are all nut-free, non-dairy, vegan, and gluten-free. We have 600 bottles of Soylent as well, and you can find them in the downstairs theater and the upstairs mezzanine. We curate the games in the expo based on the event experience that we want to craft and about the potential impacts of the building community that we do. A note about ethics. Firstly, the badges, booklets, and signs are all printed, environmentally friendly practices. Volunteers, staff, and speakers are all paid. For some that are coming from far away, we were able to get them travel reimbursement as well. Our paid volunteers work in shifts so that they can enjoy the event too. And our staff covers exhibitors' tables when they are giving a talk so they don't have to worry about it. This is all possible because of the organization team, both present and past. These are all their decisions. They really care about this, and they don't do it for any other motive besides that they wanted to see something different happen in the space of game dev events. And GDoCExpo is an awesome manifestation of that. This event has so much significance to me and its participants. It's really special, and I'm so grateful that it exists. And that's it for me. I just wanted to share a little bit about our approach and because things like this should not be unique or rare. So I'm going to pass it off to Chris, one of the original co-founders of the GDoCExpo, to share more about how this is even possible.
Hey everyone. Oh, that's loud. We've come a long way since that first round table. 4 years ago, we wanted to talk about our experiences as people of color in gaming. It turned out that our stories had a lot in common and that there was a lot to say. There's no doubt anymore that gaming is a cultural juggernaut and a huge part of modern entertainment and art. If you play a lot of games like I do, and you probably do, you'll probably notice that most of the characters you see are white. This affects who you play as, who appears in the trailers, and who gets to be on the front of the box. It's better than it's ever been, but looking at games, you'd think that it's something that isn't really enjoyed by people of color, which, of course, we all know that's wrong. We're competing in tournaments, we're rolling 20-sided dice, We're playing in virtual worlds. We play, we create, and sometimes both at once. We are here, have been here, and will be here, and highlighting that is one of my favorite things about running this expo. Over the course of this expo, you'll see video games, card games, virtual reality games, loud games, quiet ones. You'll learn from streamers, gamers, and developers, some local to New York, some from across the country, some from across the world. I'm really excited about all of this, and I'm looking forward to enjoying it again later on stream and in recordings. I encourage you all to soak in this energy, this enthusiasm, this community of passionate people coming together to highlight amazing voices. Feel free to ask questions, make connections, and take some of this energy home with you to work on your own projects. Right now, there are more tools and resources for game makers than ever before, so even if you've never made a game before, you can start today. We're so glad to be on this journey and excited to take the next steps, and we really appreciate you being on the journey with us. This event takes a lot of help to make it work. I want to give thanks to Jared Huntley for handling our website. Thanks to Jason Vega for press outreach. Thanks to Rokashi Edwards and Maria Sakuro for social media. And thanks to Sean, Brian, and GJ, who you've heard from already. Thanks to all of our volunteers, and to Reynaldo Vargas and Tony Pizza for being our volunteer leaders. And of course, we would not be here without our sponsors. Huge thanks to Ruby Tier, Sonic Toad, Emerald Tier, Avalanche Studios, Games for Change, Ilya Zaremsky, Soylent, we have drinks provided by them in the mezzanine and the downstairs theater, and Unity. We have both of our silver sponsors in the house. Could the members from Nintendo and 2 Sigma stand up? If you're interested in hearing more about what they have to offer job-wise, make sure to find them. In our Pearl tier sponsors, we have Amazon Game Tech, Kickstarter, and MailChimp. And our platinum sponsor, Xbox. And they are here to welcome y'all.
Hi, everyone. My name is Fernando Reyes. I'm a technical designer working on the multiplayer of Halo Infinite. This is my colleague, Melissa Boone. She's a UX researcher on Xbox Research. We're very happy to be here. This is the second year I come to this event, and I'm very happy to see it growing every year. I believe, and we all believe in Xbox, that gaming is for everyone, and everyone should have a game that talks to them and have a unique experience for them. And that starts with the creators. So I'm very happy here to see all the games and all the talks that are going to be in this auditorium.
Hey y'all, I'm so excited to be here. This is my first year coming to the GDoCExpo, and the opportunity to be with other devs of color, other people who are super passionate about games and understand cultural background, share some stories. It's just such a special opportunity. It gives me so much energy. When we say that we think it's important as a company, our company is made up of people, and we mean that we as people feel like it's really important to be here and share in this kind of experience and pass it on with each other. So we have some really great allies, of course, who know and value diversity, but then there's also folks like us who share your struggles and have lived your experiences, and we're just happy to share in this with you all. I've been playing games my whole life, and I had never heard the stereotype that Black people didn't play games until I got older. When I started working in the industry, I started to see a little bit more about where that was coming from. Again, we've got some great allies who I know really value diversity, but I don't have to tell you all how important it is to have representation in the industry, both on the screen and in the studios that we work in. Those experiences, playing someone who looks like you, or when you see your story reflected on the screen, it fills you with so much joy. And we'd really love to make that an experience that happens more often, that we see our stories, that we see people that look like us playing on our games. So working in the industry for people of color is really important because of the impact that we can bring. The more dialogue we have, the more bridges we build, and the more understanding that we bring of how important it is to have us represented on the screen. And that's why, to us, places like this expo are so important. We've got really dope schedule of speakers who are here to share stories and talk about, really just bond with each other and build each other up. We've got some dope games to play, so you can see those stories reflected as well. And also just the sheer delight of being in the room with other people who are as passionate about games as you are. So that's why I'm super excited to be here.
As a Latino game developer myself, I always find very interesting how the industry is in its current shape. And coming up from Mexico City, growing up and living all my life here, and then coming to the US and understanding all the difficulties that people from different minority groups face every day, I feel the responsibility of stepping up and helping others that are in the same situation. And at the same time, I feel like it's the right way and it's the right thing to do given our culture, right? When you think about Latino culture and you think about the colors, the food, the music, the dancing, there's something unique there, right? And I want to see that on my favorite medium of art, that is video games. And the only ones that can actually create an experience like that is us, right? And I want to see that not only on indie developers or in AAA developers, or I want to see it across the industry. I want to see that passion and that, that flow that we have, right? And just across any experience, you should feel it, right? Like I dream with the day when you're playing a game, and the same way it happens right now with Japanese games, that you say, oh, this is a Japanese game, right? Like it doesn't need to be in Tokyo or anything like that. You just know. And I want to see that the same experience with Latino games. Finally, I just want to add, we're here for you. We're here for supporting you. And I say that both from a personal perspective, and Melissa and I are here for you in case you need anything from us, and also from Xbox. If there's something that Xbox can do for you to support you in the creation of your art, please let us know. Thank you so much.
It's me again. So that's basically it. I just wanted to give a quick special thanks to the Schaumburg. It's an amazing space. I first came here last year, and Kat Small, who I also want to give amazing thanks for, she puts everything on her back, and this is why she is not running this event this year, is because she had to take time off, because she's basically been running everything for a very long time. And so, but when I came here for the first time and I saw they had an event about this show, Soul, and they have the Black Comic Book Festival every year. I came here and I was like, whoa, this place is amazing. We need to move here. And we did. And all the sponsors have helped us be able to come here and do all this. And with that, we're going to be starting our micro talks in a few minutes, as well as you also have all these great games that are out there. So you can wander, check out all the amazing games, or you can sit back. We are going to kick off these micro talks with a history of representation of POC in games. We'll also be talking about pitching, which is a very important thing in this industry, where people often dismiss you after you've said 10 words, and also working on a social impact game. Thank you.